Good morning. Welcome to Mighty Ox Trading. Friday morning. We have made it to the end of the week. Should be an exciting today. It's exciting today, yeah. Okay, so we made it to the end of the week, but we can't talk. Should be an exciting day today. Non-farm payroll report comes out. Always sends the markets into a nice little tizzy. I am 4 for 4 this week. I did not take any trades last night, so today's the day to see whether I can get a full green week. Overnight, not a lot of movement. We see Nasdaq's trying to come back up. It hit its high actually on the very first candle of the day at open. Came down, came back up, came back down. I mean, it's nice up and down movements. Now it's heading back up. It's about 20 points away from its high of the day. S&P, basically the same thing. High of the day was first candle, down, up, down, up. Copper, oops, pull up the wrong chart. Down, down, up. Nice big ups here right at around 12:30 last night. Pulled back and then another big move up around the European Open. Been pulling back since. Gold, oops, about a 10-point range. I forgot to say how big these ranges were. About 150 points on the Nasdaq. About 43, 46. I'm sorry, on the S&P. UltraBond, looking at about a point and a half range. Here's Crude, a little over about 2.3 points. Came down, bounced, meandered up, been sideways. We see natural gas trying to come up. Its low point of the day was its opening candle. Came up to here, bounced down. And the Russell. Russell's top candle was the first, but it fell, and now it's coming back up. Looking at a third, 40, just under a 40-point range. So that's what we've seen from the market so far. Again, we have non-farm payrolls coming out, I believe, at 8:30 Eastern. I gotta look, make sure that's the right time. That usually sends wildness into the market. Just typing out a reminder to the Earn to Trade Discord about non-farm payrolls. Hey, Chris. Good morning. How are you? Sorry, I missed you there for a second as I was going through my uh, synopsis from overnight. Seems things have been calm here in the last few minutes. Not a lot of signals you see over coming up here. Trading this morning, Chris? Hey, Twan, how are you doing today? Well, good luck. What do you like to trade, Chris? What assets? Uh, Chris, sorry about that. Apparently, Nightbot didn't like something you did. I'm not sure. Someone that likes the Russell. I like the Russell. Not a lot of people trade the Russell. Good. I love copper. Copper's been one of my main things. Hey, Twan, are you trading this morning? Getting ready for that non-farm payroll wildness? UltraBond. Ultra looks kind of ugly overnight. Very spotty. Excuse me. It's like overnight copper's giving us some good short signals throughout the evening or night or whatever it was, early morning. I can chart it out here since there's not much going on right here at the second. This is a nice move up last night. Oops. From here up to here. About 60 ticks, 750 bucks. So, Chris, have you analyzed and recognized what went wrong with your prior Gauntlet minis? UltraBond again, giving us a signal here. Check it out 1 second. Giving us a buy signal. We can see here that it's been really choppy, barcodey mess really overnight, or at least past couple hours. This is definitely an area of support and resistance, or area of resistance right here. You can see it's come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. We're about 5 ticks away from that. And then there as well. So, I mean, two big areas of resistance only 3 and 5 ticks away, which would indicate that I don't want to get into a buy until it breaks those out of that. Gold. There's gold in them dar hells. Let's see what gold says. Copper as well. Gold trying to push down, broke the third band, popped back up, back in the middle, sideways. Yeah, I had that problem when I first started, and I had to, you know, I had to always enter a trade where a stop is automatically added, you know, at a certain number of ticks. If I just tried to let it roll, I always was convincing myself it'll turn around, and then I'll end up taking a loss for a much larger amount. You know, now I think about the fact that, if it comes down, stops me out, and then reverses, I can always get back in if I want to. If I feel it's still going to go the right way, yeah, it's taking a loss, and you end up. But I mean, keep your losses smaller than your winners, and you're still coming out ahead. But it's very tough mentally. My mental block is just not taking enough trades. I find a reason not to take a whole bunch of good trades. So I've been trying to just get through that and actually take the trades. NQ here is pushing up toward its high of the day. High of the day was its first candle, way back here, way back yonder. At 24.50, it's at 16, 17 now, so close. Now my problem with stomps is not always reacting to market conditions, and I'll have stops that are too close when things are really going wild and I'm getting stopped out before things go. You know, I know, like on copper, I normally run a 12 tick stop, but if every candle is moving at, say 10, 15 ticks, you need to give it a little bit wider. And I have trouble adjusting to that because I like being able to just hit a button and not have to, manage the trade, but it's just something I need to get better at there. Have you always been trading futures, Chris, or do you trade other stuff? I've only been trading for about 2 years, and futures for less than one. Copper giving us a buy signal on the super trend. We're about 12 ticks, 10, 10, something like this, 12 ticks away from this resistance area here. You can see it's been ranging here for a while. This resistance point can actually go all the way back to here. Yeah, I mean, not really. I came up here, rejected a bit, came down, tried again, got a little above, tried again, double top, came down, maybe trying to pop up for another time, but our signal went away anyway. Gold sent us a signal, popped up, came back, tried again, came back, fell. It's slightly higher than this range that it had been in. Next resistance area back here. You see about right where it's at here, where it came up and exhausted. Looks like it might be trying to do the same thing as it was coming down. Then we're up here for the next major resistance area. Oh, yeah. Crypto, you need to be able to go long and short easily. This crypto is kind of wild at times. I started with trying to trade stocks, but that whole PDT rule just and not being able to easily short just is just no fun. So we see a short signal here now on the UltraBond. We really want to see it though. I mean, this has been in this range here. Oops, didn't want to do that. Basically, back through here, so about 3 hours, almost 3 hours. Let's see it break out of that range one way or the other before we really jump into anything. Patience today. I'm going for a full week of green days. I'm up $814 on the Gauntlet Mini account this week. 4 for 4 on green days. Looking for number 5. Close out the week. Yeah, I really like futures too. I mean, once I have money, I'll probably dabble again in stocks, mainly more probably swing trading versus day trading, or maybe and some dividend stocks and all that. But futures, there's so many reasons I like futures. Easily you can go long or short. They trade 22 hours, 23 hours a day. Uh, you see the Ultra Bond here is giving us just back to back up and down signals. So we're going to ignore them all until it can break out of this. Basically, it's an 11-point range that it's been in now since way back here. Got up here, came up a little higher, and now is just trapped in this range. Welcome to everybody joining me on YouTube this morning. It's unusual to see so many people here this early in the morning. Usually I'm talking to myself for the first hour. As always. I don't know. You know, I probably not. I mean, I think I don't know what they do in that hour of, during the afternoon. I'm not, it seems like they need to settle things. Like the contracts, they need time to settle the contracts, roll them, and all that. So I think they need that hour for, for lack of a better word, maintenance. Hey, good morning, John, and have a great trip. Glad you're listening in. Yeah, non-farm payrolls in about 35 minutes. So I don't plan on being in any trades when that hits, but I won't hesitate to jump into something, you know, for now. And Chris, I don't think, to finish my thought there, I don't think you'll ever see futures trade on like weekends like crypto does. I think you're always going to have the weekends off, at least, you know, for the foreseeable future. I mean, there's people that probably love to trade on the weekends, but I think having weekends off at least forces people to take a little bit of a break. I'm sure there's people out there that are obsessed and would try trading 7 days a week and all that. And I know I like the mental break of the weekends. Will I ever day trade crypto on weekends? I can't say I wouldn't ever, but right now I'm more happy just trying to get into, accumulate a little bit of crypto here, maybe getting into some crypto projects like Helium and some other ones that I've been watching on. John, I do thank you for listening in and allowing me to be your entertainment as you head towards your banking conference or whatever you said it was. Things seem rather subdued here this morning so far. Not getting a lot of signals. Everything is kind of rangy to grinding kind of upwards, but yeah. I mean, it would be nice if you could trade, 7 days a week, but I mean that's be interesting. We've seen a lot of these funding companies for futures pop up, this year or recently, and you do have your funding companies on forex. You don't have many on stocks. I've seen a couple that deal with stocks, but it'd be interesting to see whether or not you ever get funding prop firms that do crypto. I've never looked at crypto close enough to see what kind of volume it does on the weekends compared to during the week. How much does liquidity go down on the weekends, or does it go down? Does it actually go up? I haven't ever looked at that. I could. That's the other thing about futures is, while the ES always has a good amount of volume and a couple other things, you know, I think the volume on the weekends would be very, very low because you already see the volume in a lot of assets be very low, like in the evenings after open. Yeah, if you look at the treasuries here, you know, back here at the open, it wasn't as horrible last night. You see all these little dashes where there's hardly anything up until later in the night. Copper flirting with coming up again. This is a 10 tick candle coming up. It's 6 ticks away from this resistance, and it's also well into the bands. So I'm definitely hesitating here. For those of you here on YouTube, remember I streamed about YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Oh, look at that! It just rammed through that support area, I mean that resistance area. For those of you on YouTube, please remember to subscribe if you haven't. And also, I would love if you hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Channel's been growing pretty well, and I should have taken this buy signal. But we're right at the top of the hour, so that usually sends things a little while too. I expect this to pull back, honestly. It's well into the third band, but it's already gone 14, 16 ticks, so that would have been a nice little grab. See here, it's into the third band on the 5-minute chart as well. But it would have gone to our profit target if I had grabbed it. Yeah. So that was a missed opportunity. First one of the day. Gold did the exact opposite of what copper's doing. 17 tick candle down. Crude. Crude's also trying to head downward. But he's unsure. UltraBond. So copper's continuing to go. And that kind of surprises me. I don't know what, something that there's a catalyst here at right at the top of the hour. It actually, I mean, it started to go right before the top of the hour, so that's interesting as well. Staying above that third band, which is part of my trading plan, is usually not to enter if something's broke the third band. But I might have been wrong today. It happens. Newsflash. It definitely happens. Russell. There's the Russell. Oops. See what the Russell's doing. Wrong charts. Russell kind of giving us a buy signal, but it's also been rangy. It's been a rangy mutt. There's the pull back a bit on copper. Definitely would have given me the 20 ticks I normally look for. Still going. We have NASDAQ that just bumped up against the new high of the day. Let's see. Let's see if I can find out what they're expecting on non-farm payrolls. ES. ES. So crude just dumped. See it by dump. Okay. Sometimes trading views candles can make me think it's bigger than what it was, but it's been ranging and just tight. And this is by dumped. It was a whole like 15 ticks. S&P pulled back, now giving us another buy. Want to see it get above that recent high. Oh, so crude just came back up 20 ticks on that. Copper pulling back. Oh, I'm not sure what copper's doing. Yeah, so let's just look at that. Its recent high right here was at 45.82 and a half. That's why, and that's where it just got to as I'm talking. We're going to see whether or not this double tops here. Yeah, the Russell hit all-time highs and then it came down. Let's see here. Daily chart. Yeah, Russell hit all-time highs back on November 8th and then just has dumped ever since. Of course, everything's been kind of heading downward. If we look at NASDAQ, not as bad as the Russell, but you definitely can see it hit all-time highs back on the 22nd. Has been coming down since. See the bands have kind of bent downward-ish. But continuing to move up today, making new daily highs with each candle. So I don't know if, and gold's continuing to come down. ES, I should have grabbed that. It made it through that previous high and I would have profited. So, second missed opportunity of the morning. This is what I mean where I don't take trades as much as I should. Because you see the Russell, the S&P, and the NASDAQ all has given us nice good signals. Crude though, crude is bipolar. Down, up, down. Copper continuing to go. Oh, 1 minute chart, not 5 minute chart. Gold down. Treasury's still looking. Oh, actually, Treasury sent us a nice signal too. It finally broke out of that range I had drawn. So that would have been a good entry right there. We're now getting closer to non-farm payrolls. It's interesting. I wonder if, the market is thinking non-farm payrolls is going to be bullish. You see the bonds going down, indices going up, gold going down. Russell came down, broke that range, is now trying to get back into that range. So it didn't have a lot of follow through. Came down 4 ticks from that into out of that range, and then came right back up and is now sitting back in that same range, sending us a buy signal. And the same caveat goes for when it was in the range earlier. All it did was slightly expand that range. Early morning drinking game. How many times will I say range? So here we are, December 3rd, waiting for something good to happen. Just think how time flies. In exactly 1 month from now, holidays will all be over. I'll be sitting here in 2022 on the first trading day of the year. It's only 1 month away. Copper trying to get back up to its daily high. It's still 40 ticks away. Pulling back a bit. You see it did break that third band and finally pulled back. It broke the third band twice before. So usually it was climbing the band. So that's not as always as a safe bet as like here where it came down and reversed and you could play that. See my Renkos that I've been playing with down here below. So Russell just sent us a signal. Oh, okay. So now the indices are all pulling back. NQ not as much as ES and Russell. Russell bounced off its SMA. Crude's grinding up. We have natural gas coming up. Yeah, I chart natural gas. I like the way natural gas moves, but I still have not been brave enough to take a trade on natural gas on the Gauntlet account. I've done a couple sim trades on it, but not on the Gauntlet yet. S&P is bumping right up against its daily high. Nasdaq, of course, made new highs. UltraBond still screaming at me that it wants to stay in that range. So it can do what it wants to do. Good morning, Walt. Yep, I have all plans to be flat for non-farm payrolls. Non-farm payroll and FMOC I'm always flat for. Ultra Bond continuing to try and come up here. Again, still within that range. Again, I'm saying range way too many times this morning. Don't know what that was. Oh, that's that resistance it blew through. Gold trying to come back up. Kappa pulling back. Kind of just waiting now. We have 15 minutes before the non-farm payroll report. Copper did give us a short signal. My trading plan is not to take that short signal, even though it's looking like it wants to continue to head down, only because it's an uptrending SMA line and an uptrending bottom band. But it doesn't have, it wouldn't have enough room before the bottom band to actually go to 20 ticks. Right now it's gone. Let's see if I've gotten in 105 down to 30. It's gone 15 ticks. Pulling back now. Nasdaq double topped at its new high of the day. It's pulling back. If you look at the volume charts here, volume profile or whatever you want to call this, we had some big candles here, kind of more subdued again now as we head toward that non-farm payrolls. I think a lot of people try to stay flat. Apologize for the yawning. I've literally only been up an hour and 10 minutes. Got up 25 minutes before I went live. I'm looking forward to the weekend and catching up on some sleep. Y'all got any weekend plans? You see ES sending us a signal. Russell sent us a signal earlier. Should have been a good signal. But we are 10 minutes from non-farm payrolls. I don't know how much I want to mess with anything right now. If I mess with anything, it'd be for a quick scalp, and I'm not really in that whole scalp thing. Need more caffeine. Crude oil. Looking like crude wants to continue to go down. Oh wait, that's natural gas. Try crude oil. There we go. See that big move down at the top of the hour, then big move back up. You want to get below here before you would even consider entering, which is about 6 ticks away. At least that's what I would do anyway. Natural gas. Pulling back now. Ooh. Nasdaq with a short signal right here, 7 minutes away from the non-farm payroll, so we're ignoring that. Gold's continuing to go down. That would have been a great signal, by the way. I think. Eh, let's see. Usually looking for 3.5 points this time of day. Gold has just almost given us that. Quiet before the storm. Meaning y'all got quiet. Nobody's talking anymore, which is okay. Concentrate on your trading if you need to. Tesla pre-market, and these are my Renko charts. Big move up this morning at the pre-market open. About $20 up. Pre-market pulled back. I watch Tesla not because I have any shares in it, because I can't like afford that, but just because it often tells me what the indices are doing as well. It kind of runs in sympathy. Sympathy. Copper sideways. There we go. Gold would have went to my profit target if I had entered it on that short signal. Five, less than 5 minutes away from non-farm payrolls. Counting down like it's New Year's Eve or something, but you know, it is a big event that it's very hard to play. A news event that's very hard to play. Now, like, I don't know if Top Step has a rule against playing non-farm payrolls. I know they have a rule against playing FMOC in a funded account. Earn to Trade does not have any rules against playing news. That said, it's probably safer for you not to play the news, like I'm staying out of the news. I will look for a direction once the news hits and the market settles out before the open. I'm often flat at the open as well. But staying flat before these news events makes for boring streams. I need to check. Let's see, agriculture overnight. Looks like it pushed up some. And corn did the same. You can see my Renko charts here. You can see how nice and smooth these moves are on Renko. At least on TradingView's Renko. So this weekend I'm going to be doing some analysis of them and seeing if it's an asset and maybe doing some sim trading with them next week while on stream. Yes, pushing back up here. You can see we triple topped or double topped. It's trying for a triple top now. Here, basically, a few minutes ago, right around 45.88, 45.89. So that's a resistance area. It's a high of the day. And Q making that same move, and the Russell. Russell's also pushing up, and Q also pushing up. Also looking to try and break this high. Buy signal, but we're not doing any signals here 2 minutes before non-farm payrolls, and it's a good thing we didn't because you see it just push back down by 10 points. See gold's continuing to grind down. 1 minute away from the non-farm payroll report. Gold heading toward at the bottom of its range, a little over 2 points away. UltraBond. Tried to break out of that range to the upside, failed. We'll go over here to the ES and the NQ, and we'll watch what it does here on the 1 and the 5. Sorry, I got the NASDAQ on the Renko's on 1. A lot of signals firing here. Buy signal on copper, short signal on the bonds. We're 10 seconds away from non-farm payroll. I have Twitter up here trying to get a, there we go, non-farm payroll. Start seeing a big move up here on the NASDAQ, 35 points within the first 5 seconds, 42 points. Let me see if I can get the actual report. The S&P's pulling back, that's interesting. So we have divergence here, 60 points on the NQ, only a point on the S&P. Let's quickly look at the 1-minute charts. Big 1-minute chart. Now NASDAQ's pulling back. Hit a high of 16,088, all the way back down to 60. So pull back by about 20 points. S&P spit down right before the payroll report came up. It's pulling back. Gold, look at that gold candle. 7.5 points. Natural gas and oil not really caring. Russell's kind of coming down. Dow's coming down now. So we're seeing S&P just broke into a new daily high. Of course, the Nasdaq did as well. Strong moves up here. Now we're looking at 57 points on this 5-minute candle. 60, 62. Whoa, non-farm payrolls missed its estimate by over 300,000. They were estimating 550K and only got 210K. Somehow I would have thought that was a bearish, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know how non-farm payrolls work. So that's why I don't do analysis. I just look at what it says. Huge miss. So 90 points now on this NQ on this 5-minute candle, and 17 points now on the ES, which is a little bit behind. Russell finally started catching up as well, 6 points. Gold, whoa, huge wick on gold on the 5-minute. No, it was the 1-minute. I'm sorry. No, wait, 5-minute. Yeah, sorry, just got a little bit confused. It went up almost 9 points and then pulled back. Platinum did the same. The Ultra Bonds heading down south. See everything here. So Nasdaq, you know, see these big moves up. Wicks don't matter. Our bands really don't matter on news until things start shaking out. Gold pulled back. It went up in that first minute and pulled back right away afterwards. You see the Ultra Bond heading down, trying to bounce. Copper really didn't care about non-farm reports, payroll, which makes sense. And I don't think the energies cared either. The energies really didn't care. Natural gas, although crude is kind of coming up. So crude is more of an economic indicator as well versus like natural gas. Big move up here on crude. We can take away this resistance area on the S&P. Now just kind of wait for things to shake out. A lot of times on these reports you'll see a big move upwards for the first 5-10 minutes, and then all of a sudden things will start crashing down. like it's an overreaction. Everything in the market is an overreaction. Treasury's definitely falling. It's wow, treasuries have fallen faster than I thought they did. Gold, see here, gold's now sending us a short signal. It's trying to get back that entire move. Treasury, UltraBond, uh, from 201.17 all the way down to 231. That's an 18 tick drop, almost $600 a contract. Here's the Nasdaq. This is what I'm talking about. They're pulling back. It's already given back a good portion of the move. It's down off the top. It went up to 16,121. It's back down to 16,064. So it's given back like 64 points. Some of that's profit taking. Some of it's just people digesting the news that came out. Natural gas. Looks like it wants to head down, down, down. Crude continuing to go up. I will wait at least 5 more minutes to see what the market settles out at before I start following any signals. And you really get a double whammy on non-farm payrolls because you have the obviously the regular morning open that can also be wild just an hour afterwards. So you got to kind of sandwich moves in between the wildness. Anyone out there enter into any trades during this wacky period? Am I here? My headphones are giving me an issue. They turned off for a second, so I wasn't able to talk. Hey, 385. Green is green is green. I'm still working. I'm still just watching and waiting while I get myself some breakfast. Can you all hear me? Make sure this headphone is working. Okay, just making sure. Definitely need to get new headphones. These are falling apart. Copper coming down. 2 minutes. Another 2 minutes or so, and I'll start taking signals, at least on maybe on the non-indices, because the indices are still shaking out. Gold is also That gold chart down there in the bottom left is kind of wild looking. Gonna be muting here on and off as I choose some cereal. Volume slowing down here. Sideways kind of now. The news being digested. A lot of what you see right when news comes out is algorithms just trying to digest the news and reading it, or however you want to put it out. Algorithm looking for specific terms and words and reacting to it. Because there's no way a human can look at the non-farm payrolls report and make enter a trade within 1 second of looking at the numbers. So a lot of it's algorithms. And then you start having humans come in and start saying, hey, this is what this actually says. So NASDAQ giving us a short signal here. Slightly below this uptrending SMA line. Makes me hesitant to do there. This copper signal looking good. Gold still flaky. Crude settled out. S&P settled out. Natural gas, I don't know why it reacted so hard to the non-farm payrolls, but it's coming down. No, I'm not in anything right now. I still waiting to see what it wants to do. What where did you enter that MAS at? Ah, yeah, it's come down nicely since then. See, that's one of my problems with trading micros is that I try to treat it like the regular mini, but then it's coming up or going down, and I kind of just want to let it go no matter what because it's like it's only a couple bucks if it goes the wrong way. So I have mental trouble treating it like it was a bigger contract. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. Well, this is the trade I meant I should have taken copper because copper doesn't respond majorly to the economic reports. I should have grabbed this copper trade. This would have been an excellent trade. Everything else is kind of sideways right now. Yeah, it was, and absolutely shocking. I'm looking through Twitter just to see reactions, but unemployment is better than expected. So it's interesting. Yeah, I don't. I mean, between that and the Omicron or how we pronounce it variant, I know everyone's hoping kind of like that stops the Fed tapering, but I think the Fed's already kind of like so especially with the inflation. I don't know. I haven't been following finance reports and all this stuff long enough to even guess which way or what way. Definitely seeing the ES dropping here. 4 point candle. Excuse me. Okay, just choking a little bit of cereal. Don't mind me. If I die here, well, uh, all right. So now I should be following signals. We're seeing. It looks like we're heading downward now. This has been a great signal. We got me 30 points here on NQ. 2 points so far. Well, here we'll see a bounce. The Russell, also kind of. Well, yeah, just as I say that, we see a green bounce up. Gold, also bouncing. I don't know. I want to take a trade today, and I want it to be green just so I can say I had 5 green days. But right now, I'm just so hesitant. Okay, done with breakfast, so no longer have to worry about hearing me chew. I think I muted every time I started chewing. If I didn't, whoopsie. So we did see obviously a new high there on that candle in the Nasdaq for the day. So its new high for the day is 16,121 and 3/4. New high for the day on the ES is 46.02 even. Copper pulling back here. Gold obviously set a new high for the day, but definitely didn't sustain it. Platinum's over there. I don't really chart it. So the UltraBond did its whole daily range in 10 minutes. No, in 5 minutes. One 5-minute candle. Though it's breaking new lows for the day now. Crude's still up around its high of the day. See, it's hit that high of the day twice during the European session. It's trying to come up now. And natural gas is about the middle of its range. Russell also hit new highs 3 times, as a matter of fact, and rejected down. Now we're about 40 minutes away from the bell. Tesla, like the non-farm payrolls report, it's gone up here a bit. I'm in that. I really want to take a trade mode, so I need to fight that because right now it's not offering me anything that I want to take. Everything's kind of calm. We see the markets are trying to come back up here a bit. Gold, Nasdaq, copper, bonds, S&P, Russell, all green on these last candles. Big green. 5 points on this current 1 minute candle on the S&P. 21 points on the Nasdaq. Not 100% sure how I feel about this. It is sending me a signal here on NQ. You see, it's the SMA is downtrending. It's hanging right around the SMA line. I feel like this report is negative and should be sending the markets negative. But like Walt said, maybe people are thinking this is going to get the Fed to change its mind about tapering. But I don't know. I think that's a little bit, it's a bullish thought, but I, until I actually hear Jerome Powell say that, I'm not sure when the next FMLC meeting is. I would think there'll be one before Christmas. Last one was the first week of November, and they're every 6 weeks, I think. So I would think it'll be the week before Christmas. Let's see if I can find that information. Yep. Next FMLC meeting, December 14th and 15th, which means the news will come out on the 15th. So that's just 8 trading days away. That day could be kind of wild. Maybe I should do a special live stream for FMLC. What do you think, Walt? Which direction do you think the market's going to go at the open? Crude trying to hit back up. Crude setting a high of the day. Crude is bumping up against its high of the day. Be interested to see if it gets through here. You can see we're right at the same levels we were way back here, where it tried 4 times, 6 times basically, to get above this level. Its previous high of the day is 868.71. And that's where we just bumped again, and it's pulling back. So there's something about the 68.71 level that's very important right now in crude. Let's go back in time and see if there's crude again. Let's see. So you can see even back here on the first, all of 2 days ago, it also struggled. It came down through this level, tried to come up once, twice, three, and rejected down, and it hasn't been back at that level since now. So there's something about this level right here in this area that's very important for crude. But big rejection off that level. Down 30, almost 30 ticks. Up 34, 37, 38. I used to not really look at um, support and resistance, but I'm noticing that it is definitely important to at least keep an eye on. Although I do admit sometimes they can cost me good trades because it just blows through the support or resistance, and I'm sitting there just kind of watching it. Yeah, I basically have no idea. I'm sitting here. I really want to take a trade. Oh wow, good that move down on crude there. I really want to take a trade, but yet I don't know. I mean, here we got a short signal in the Russell, but oftentimes they come up like this and just hang here at the SMA line. That's a reversal. Copper trying to get down toward its low of the day. Gold looking wild. Uh, yeah, I agree. Well, oh, nine from 9 to 9.3. Yeah, I usually stay flat most of those, at least for the indices. I I'll look at copper or a couple of the others like crude. Yeah, I forgot crude does go wild at the top of the hour at 9 o'clock. That's why it's doing what it's doing. It just sucks to be on stream and not be doing anything. I mean, I could sim trade. The only thing I don't like about sim trading, just to sim trade, is the fact that it's not trades I'm doing trades that I would normally take. So is that a good idea to get into habits that you know I might unconsciously do? I don't know. It's that balance between finding entertainment value and making sure I don't screw up my own trading. No, I mean I've been sitting here now for an hour and a half, haven't taken a trade. I've missed a couple opportunities, but I'm seeing my viewership numbers go down. I really shouldn't care about that, but I mean I do want to provide a something that's yeah. I knew what you meant. Well, I just so for fun. Let's look at the Renkos on the NQ here. This is the NQ Renkos on TradingView. Since 5 o'clock, you see we've been uptrending. It hasn't even, really didn't do anything. Could have followed this up for uh, almost 150 ticks. I'm sorry, 150 points. I'm really thinking the Renkos, you want to kind of go with what the SMA, I mean the EMA here does. Although you would have missed this move down. And this move was right after the non-farm payroll report. You can see how just following the signals, you do get your 5 points at the very least. You didn't get it here, but most of these signals give you at least 5 points. You can almost rest like in order, not rest in order, but you know. So I definitely want to test out Rankos in the next week or so, just to see if there's any advantage. I mean, honestly, I have my statistics show I have a winning strategy, so I probably shouldn't be messing with anything else. But it just looks so clean that it's drawing me to it. So you see the S&P is working back up toward its high of the day. We still have 40 points to go before the Nasdaq does that. Copper continuing to fall down. Gold, yucky. Oh, UltraBond made new lows of the day. Crude at rejected off that high. Hey Jay, good afternoon. It made the market a little crazy. This is the NQ. Oops. Big moves up. It went up from 16,028 all the way up to 16,121. It's almost like 93 points. And rejected back down to lower than where it started, and now it's trying to grind back up. The payroll report missed big time, but the market's undecided how it feels about it. Gold went wild up and then came back down lower than where it was as well. Copper didn't really care. It's just been trending downward. And ES did basically the same thing that NQ did. Yeah. Did you trade through non-farm payrolls, or was that from earlier? See, the S&P actually did a perfect bounce here off the SMA line. I'm finding that I definitely need to start checking an economic calendar. I knew about it this today, but I think it was last month I was surprised about it. Or someone mentioned it like 5 minutes before in the chat here. So I definitely, I need to start keeping up on the calendar. Once I have more time, I could post the economic calendar for the coming week to the subreddit. Oh, big move up here on crude. Something just woke up the crude market. All's quiet. We are about 19 minutes from the bell. Be interested to see how the open reacts to the non-farm payroll news. I need to hire entertainment for slow times like this. Need a choir singing Christmas carols or something. See, this would be a good, very good long position. Would have just be at about at our profit target. You really don't want. I don't really want to like scare away the viewers, Jay. So I guess we can chart. Although copper just gave me a signal. Copper's giving me a buy signal. Still downtrending SMA line. Hasn't breached it. So we'll watch it. We could chart some gold here. Obviously, that would not have taken that buy signal. Would not have taken that short signal. And it's been ugly since. So let's go back in time. Let's turn back time. See, I charted out last night. See, there you got me singing. Gonna turn back time. This long position right here would not have worked. That would have been a failure. Failure of the nth degree. Right to a short. Joop, 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 joop. Ah. And we got another short signal right away there. Probably that would have been all the same trade, honestly, but we could see that this signal would have worked too. This one would have been tough. Big move up through a downtrending SMA line. I probably, if I was awake and had been trading, I probably would have taken that. So I will say I would have taken it, and obviously it would have failed. And the next one, obviously it's best just to be taking shorts here. Would not have taken that. Yep, a big move up into the bands. Pull back, like just like I would have expected it to. Ah, got a signal there. I didn't see what it was. Hold on. Uh, gold. Got a signal for what I'm doing. Hold on. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, go to the gold. Trying to come up. Now you see this recent high here. We tried to come up before. We're at that same level. So we want to see it get above there. It's looking like it wants to. And our SMA is bullish. We are 15 minutes to the bell. So that also gives me pause. And it did just reject. NQ. Oh wait, NQ giving us a short signal here, not taking it, not within this close to the bell. Okay, back here charting. Wouldn't have taken this one. Probably would have taken that, honestly, and that would have sucked. These are the things I gotta try and filter out, but I'm not sure exactly how. Excuse me. This short signal I would not have taken. You can see it would have worked, but I would not have taken it. This buy probably would have. This short I probably would have. This has got to be the most boring thing to watch. The short would have obviously been bad. And then I wouldn't have taken either of those signals. And now we're at present time. So let's do a quick count. 1, 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 3 to 2, 4 to 2, 5 2, 5 3, 6 3, 6 4, 6 5, 7 5, 8 5, 9 5, 10 5. 11 5, 12 5, 13. 13 wins, 5 losses based on the signals. Since open, if I had been awake and just concentrated on gold and taken all those trades, 13 times 16, 208 ticks minus 50 in losses, 158 ticks. If you assume some slippage, say 2 ticks of slippage in each trade, minus 26, still be up over $1,000 per on a one contract. Gold's trying to come back up now, and the UltraBonds was sending us a signal as well. They're also trying to come back up. Not sure all these white lines are. Wait, oops, still in gold. This is our next major resistance area right here at 201.10. About 12 ticks away from there. Now we're 11 minutes from the bell. See copper curling up. It sent us that buy signal, downtrending SMA line. The SMA line is still on a downward arc. It's trying to bend now. UltraBond giving us a long signal. Thank you for joining me this morning. As always feel free to say hello in the chat. If you have any questions, comments, statements, please feel free. So I'm not just sitting here talking to myself. Usually I only do that when other people cannot hear me. We are about 8 minutes from the bell, so I'm kind of staying flat here. Russell heading down, S&P heading down, Nasdaq heading down, but just slightly. Yeah, definitely need some more caffeine. Guess as a good time as any is if you're looking to do an evaluation with Earn a Trade this month. They have 50% off their 50K account, just 99 bucks. That's for the lifetime of the subscription. So it takes you 2 months. You'll be charged 99 the next month instead of the regular price, and for however long you keep the subscription, until you pass or until you decide to cancel. It's a good deal. 50K is probably the best size account, I believe. So if you're just starting out, especially. You can always, with Earn a Trade, you can have up to 5 funded accounts. So if you find that the 50K is too small for you after a while, then you can just do one for the 150K. So links down below if you are looking to do an eval this month. Let's start your trading journey or continue your trading journey or wherever you're at in your trading journey that involves a eval to get funded. With signals in the ES and the Russell. Trying to come back. Short here in the S&P, or short signal trying to fire on the S&P. Be interesting to see how that comes into the market. with the bell less than 4 minutes away. We're just going to be watching. I'll move over to the NQ and the ES as we get closer. ES continuing to try and flirt with that ATR line that'll get that short signal. A little over 2 minutes. Ooh, 1 minute to go. Tesla heading downward as we head into the open, just as we're seeing the ES and the NQ doing as well. Yeah, I agree, Jay, it is. So we'll find out here in the next 20 seconds. And there's the ding. Down 11 points so far. Oh, it's just, it's still indecisive. Up, down, up, down. Trying to find direction. Not a real exciting open here right now yet. Nasdaq's now down 31 points. S&P down 4.5. It's looking like it wants to trend down, which is kind of the direction it was going before the bell. But it's not like they're explosive moves yet. Gold is actually pushing up. You see Nasdaq's bouncing here on the 1 minute chart. ES getting some sort of signal somewhere. Oh. ES, big bounce. Now giving us a buy signal. Russell was big down, now bouncing as well. So we came down 20 points, back up 35, and heading upwards. So maybe we found our direction as we've now gone up about 60 points on the NASDAQ. ES about 11 points. Now it's pulling back. So we still have indecision here. Still hard to tell where it's going. I don't know where it's going. I only know where it's been. Big flush down on the UltraBond here. 7 ticks down. Oh, huge flush down on the NASDAQ. 41 points. Definitely have no idea where it's going. Okay, guys, unfortunately, I need to step away from my computer for about 10 minutes. I'll leave these charts up on right where they're at. I should be back in about 10 minutes. I know it's unusual for me to do this, but hopefully I won't apparently we're seeing a big move down here on the Nasdaq, just as I am. Though there it's bouncing. So I'll be back in about 10. Okay, sorry about that. See, I missed a huge move down on 100 points down on the NASDAQ. Treasuries went up. So all the signals I was waiting for happened while I was gone. All you should do is enter positions as soon as I go away from the computers when things run. Big move down the Russell, big move down the S&P. Big move down, well, small move down in oil. Sorry, I sound a little out of breath, I'm sure. Yeah, Jay, it just seems like it, doesn't it? Maybe I need to, like, wear a disguise so the market doesn't realize I'm here. So I missed all my entries, which sucks. But, try and trade for another hour or so. Still like to get at least one trade today so I can say I've had an all green week. So I guess I should say I would still like to get another trade today that's green. But I can't do the whole forcing it thing because that'll make it, instead of an all green week, 4 green days and 1 red day. No trading while I'm here, huh? Because you can't grab the signals. About 5 minutes before the top of the hour, 10 o'clock on the east. Nasdaq's continuing to bleed out. It's just made a new low of the day. See if it bounces here. S&P doing the same, though not near its low of the day yet. Copper still in the middle. Gold still in the middle. UltraBond big moves up here. A 17 tick followed by an 11 tick candle on the 5 minute. Crude made a new high of the day and rejected off of it. Crude has a pretty big range now today of almost 3 points. And natural gas still about the middle of its range. Russell made a new low. Trying to bounce there. Wow, look at that beautiful Renko on the Renko chart for the Russell. Boom. Tesla's headed straight down since the open, trying to pull back here. Just kind of exactly like NASDAQ and ES. Oops, wrong button. Gold, 2 point candle down. Spammers are coming alive on Twitch. Anybody catch this beautiful drop down on the NASDAQ or the ES? I really kind of want to get in on this NQ, but yet I feel like if I do, it's going to be where it bottoms. It's kind of a FOMO situation. Let's check support and resistance. Well, don't have to go back far for support and resistance. Uh, Yesterday, right here. So 773-ish. So it's got a ways to go before that. You see it's bounced now, bouncing. That's why I didn't want to get in this bounce. Here's, you never know where it's going to bounce. Russell, also bouncing, I'm sure. Yep, Russell's bouncing. This is the issue I have with the Renkos. You see here these ghost Renkos on the trading view. This is all happened in this 1 minute. If this suddenly reversed out, never knew this price action happened and that it pulled back that much. So that's where it gets a little tough. Like you see, and that buy signal didn't fire until the minute ended. So like you see where this buy signal fired, all of these boxes were within this minute that it fired, and then the next three came afterwards. So that's the one drawback of the Renkos that I've seen. That's why I got to see whether or not they're viable to trade. Oh, continuing down now. So we had that little pullback. Now it's heading back down. Where We're at 785. I said that resistance point was going to be 773. So we're almost there from where our low from yesterday. Continuing to head south. Big bounce here, 24 points. Most of these candles are pretty big though. ES bouncing, Russell bouncing. Crude continuing to move down. Natural gas came back up nicely but now it's coming back down. Waiting for a good signal. Headphones are falling off my head. Do want to thank everyone for joining me here as we go a little past 10 o'clock. Probably stream for another hour or so, depending. I mean, if everything's slow for the next half an hour, I might cut it there. But again, please feel free to say hello in the chat. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to try and answer. If you have any comments, tell me what you're trading. Are you trading sim? Are you trading a live account? Are you trading a gauntlet account? Are you just watching? Did you find my channel by accident and then just gonna hit that like button and then leave? Unfortunately, I was called away from the computer for these big moves that downward, and I don't want to just jump in randomly. So I probably missed the big move of the day. Just checking some messages here. Checking the Discord, see if there's anything interesting going on there. We just continue to see moving down, although we just see a little bit of a bounce here in the S&P and the NASDAQ. Gold also bouncing, UltraBond's kind of sideways. Copper was also coming down. Just about everything's wanting to be red. I mean, things are kind of sideways now, but we see that crude, natural gas, S&P, Russell, NASDAQ, goldish, copper, all came down. Bonds is the only thing that kind of came up as sideways. So, after a little bit of indecision about that non-farms payroll report, it seems like the market did take it as a bearish report, which is what I thought, but it surprised me the initial reaction. But it seems like it's agreeing now. So now we're just sitting here waiting. You can see that every one of these short signals would have worked. Natural gas, and this one came down, pulled back, and then went. Same thing here. This is, that classic move I talk about where he comes up on a um, downtrending SMA, does the pullback, and then breaks back above. So the good thing usually is to wait for that pullback. If we had gotten in here, we would have had to deal with a 15-point pullback, which isn't actually that bad. I usually run at least a 20 tick stop, which would have stopped me at 20, but at 8:30, I'm actually running a 40 tick, but I don't know if I would have got my profit target. My profit target's 60. Yeah, I would have got 50. And that would have been enough to trail my stop where I would have got some profit out of it. Now, in this short signal, it's come down from 416 to 4144. So 16 ticks out of that. Seems like natural gas is slowing down some too now. But from the very top, right after the open, where the S&P hit a 4606, it's come down to a low of 4546. So 60 points, which is huge for the ES. That's a $3,000 drop. NASDAQ hit a high of 16,090. It's down to 15,747, making a new low of the day. And I don't even want to do that math. 16,090 minus 15,750. 340 points in 40 minutes. That's $6,800 on a contract. And I missed it. This is absolutely some wild markets, and I think we're going to continue to see wild markets between the inflation fears, between COVID fears, between tapering fears, between just overall FUD. I think we're going to continue to see wild swings, but definitely looks like we're, bearish now overall, at least for a while. December is usually a bullish month, but then you don't usually have all these fears during December. So, so far, in December, we did have a green day yesterday. But, first 3 days of December, we've come down from a high of 16,427 down to 1657. It's almost a 700-point drop in 3 days. And since it reached its all-time high, 16,767, we've dropped 1,000 points. So ES and NQ continue making new daily lows. A lot of money made in these markets. You look at this on the Renkos. This is why I'm really looking at using these Renkos. If we had just waited for even if we waited for the break of the SMA line here, the smooth move down here. Well, this is all 1 minute, so maybe not that smooth move, but this one here, down, and continue down. If this didn't scare us out, this went a 20-point retreat, so that could have scared us out. But all the way down here, a little bit of a retreat. This probably would have scared us out. Could have got in on this buy signal maybe, and then back in here, down. So I really got to see how these trade if you're actually staring at them. It looks really nice. unfortunately, when everything's going one direction, it doesn't give you a chance to really get back in without wondering where it's going to bounce at. So right now I'm stuck on the outside. Just looking at seeing if there's any major analysis reports on that non-farm payrolls. Uh, Nothing I'm seeing there. Seeing a little bit of attempt to bounce back to the SMA line, but again down. Gold, I'm sorry, Russell's kind of trying to get above its SMA. SMA is kind of flattened. Excuse me. This is just a beautiful move down the Nasdaq, as well as none of these little green candles. And I say little green. This is a 36-point candle, so this is going to be one of my issues if once I start playing more contracts and I use a trailing stop. You know, obviously coming down. This was a 23-point candle. This is a 36-point candle up. Even this wicked up over 20 points, 25 points. Do I just allow it to stay in until it breaks the SMA, which in this case would have worked, or breaks the ATR? How far do I let it pull back if I'm trailing it? Obviously, if I had gotten out here, which was, don't get me wrong, I would have got in at 994, and even if I am out at 870, so that's over $2,000. But you can see I could have got another 1,000 out of it, or 2,000 out of it, if I didn't let that scare me off. So it's one of those things, part of me says, no, here it's hitting the SMA line, so this could be the exit. It never came close on the way down. And if that was the case, getting it at 994 and out here right at the SMA line, where it hit the SMA line at 800, 194 points, it's $3,900. So those are the type of things you try and figure out. If I'm going with more contracts where I take profit on one as it's going, and even take profit on two and let the other one. Do I let the other one roam just until I get the opposite signal, or what? It's just it'll be a good problem to have once I get there. Heck, if I just get brave enough to run 9 contracts and run for 50 points, 50 points is $1,000. Get out there, don't even worry about the rest of the move. That'll be $9,000. Would I ever be brave enough? You'll have to keep tuning in to see. As of now, I still haven't taken a trade today. So obviously today I haven't been brave enough. Of course, I was away from the computer during the big move. So I need algorithms. Let it just do my thing for me when I'm not here. S&P also now above the SMA line. So it looks like we may have found a bottom. Russell as well. Question is, do we just go sideways now, or do we recover some of the loss? Not loss, but the downs, the assets loss, not my personal loss. Copper with a buy signal. It's the first buy signal. It went away right away. Okay, it was a 15 tick candle here, trying to get above the. There we do have a short signal here on the UltraBond as well, but you can see that's been rangy now for the last 30 minutes. Okay, NQ is now sending us a signal as well, or it was. It rejected off of it. We still have downtrending top bands, and we still have a slightly downtrending SMA line. Looking for just the perfect entry. Or I shouldn't say perfect. Looking for a good entry. There's never a perfect entry. If you're constantly looking for the absolute perfect entry, then you're probably never going to actually enter a trade, or if you do, it's going to be few and far between. Okay, so there's the NQ again, flirting with that buy signal. ES as well. This is a 21 point candle. We've got 12 seconds to make a decision. MNQ. Looking for my MNQ chart. One quantity. You can see I have my chart up. Oh, maybe I don't. There we go. Now I have my chart up. Ready. It did pull back. By 10. See if it bounces off that SMA. So if I followed this, and I didn't want to get right in on, because you see these downtrending bands, that was a good decision. This is a 30-point drop down. But we're going to see if it bounces. I'm still expecting it to bounce and then head up. It's either going to head up or it's going to go sideways, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to continue to come down, but stranger things have happened. Right now, it's looking like it wants to prove me wrong. It wants to come back down through that SMA, but let's see. If I enter this trade, I'll be looking for 30 points with a 20-point stop loss. But right now, it looks like it's going to come back down. Crude oil's giving us a signal. Let's see what crude's doing. Crude's with a buy. That actually looks pretty good too. Also got above its SMA. SMA's flattening out. 10 seconds to make a decision there. It's a big move up, so I'm expecting a pullback before it goes, but so far I haven't been very right today, so crude chart there as well. There's that little pullback. Oops, I'm on that MNQ chart. Ooh. Yeah, there's the pullback I expected on crude. Let's see if it's just breathing here. A couple ticks. Oh. Well, if it's breathing, you just took a huge deep breath. The kind that your doctor wants you to take when they're listening to your chest. MNQ also coming down, so I was wrong about MNQ, RNQ. UltraBond, giving us a signal here. It's hard to see because I have my charts over my charts. UltraBond's kind of rangy. We'll go back to looking at the Crude and NQ, ES. Yep. Now you see Crude looking like it might want to go now. That's a bullish candle right there. This candle's closing up, continuing down. And you see these three candles still have not equaled this one big candle. And we still have, you see that the SMA line is just slightly uptrending. So we're still waiting to see whether or not it gives us a bullish. Is this still a chance that this is a bullish symbol? You just gotta wait until it breathes. It's now pretty much equal to that candle. Let's see if it bounces off this SMA line. Is that the SMA and the EMA? So could go for a bounce here. Let's pull back 12 ticks since this signal fired. So would have stopped us out if we had entered there. M and Q trying to come back up. Excuse me. Want to see it get back above this previous high, recent high, and it is trying there. Let's go back to our NQ chart. You see it's coming up. This was a signal fire. So we went 818. It's at 799. So it came back. It went down a lot. We want to see it come back up and start bending those bands up. Back to Crude. Crude's coming back up. Whoops, wrong screen. We see Crude coming back up, erasing that loss. We want to see it get back above. Oh, there we go. We're going to go in the ask. We're filled. First trade of the day. Let's see if it continues that momentum up. There we go. Oh, pull back. Down 2 ticks. And NQ really pulled back there. You can see the S&P basically doing the same thing in the upper or left-hand corner. Crude still trying to push up. There's a big tendency to want to just close out this trade for a small win and just call it and say I had a green week, but we're gonna stick with this trade, try and get what we can out of it. I don't like the looks of that last candle. Gonna take a look at the DOM. Let's see if it's telling me anything fun. There's Crude. Got orders stacked on both sides, so it doesn't really tell me anything. NQ is sending us a buy signal now again, and so is copper. There. Now, there we go. That's the momentum I was looking for. There we go. Now our trade's definitely in profit. My stop loss moved 2 ticks above. We're up 10 ticks, pulling back a bit though. I want more than 2 ticks out of that, but I'll take 2 ticks if that's what it gives me. S&P and Q also moving up here. We're up 9 ticks. Taking a breath. Let's hope it's not a huge breath. Quickly switch over to see what copper's doing. Copper, the buy signal. It's a good buy signal, honestly, but I'm going to stick with one trade right now. There we go, moving up. Pulling back. My trailing stop is about to be hit. Maybe. 4 ticks in the profit is where my trailing stop is right now. Oh, there we go. Now we go. There we go. Okay. We went up quickly and then pulled back to my trailing stop. Excellent trade there. Let's see. Let's look at the numbers. Let me find the screen to look at the numbers. We got 19 ticks out of that, $190, which officially puts me over $1,000 on the week. Heading toward that funding. Again, this is, of course, still on the funded sim account. You know, the funded account, the evaluation account. One day this will be real money. Well, let's look at that trade. Again, 19 ticks. We were in it just under 5 minutes. $190 in just under 5 minutes. And so we got out nice time. We see a red candle there. Excellent. Thank you, Rallo. And this copper, this copper signal would have only given me 3 ticks so far. So definitely followed the right signal there. NQ, what's NQ doing? NQ was trying to come back up. It also rejected. So I picked the right signal to do, and I was patient. I'm kind of really proud of myself on this one because I didn't follow this signal. I waited for this pullback, just like I tell everybody. The signal was close to that third band. Waited for the pullback, and I got in as this candle went up, and that worked very well. And there you see a big pullback there. So we got out right at the right time. Trailing stopped, worked perfectly. here you can see. Give me 1 second. This is my report for the week from. Oops, again I did it. This is my report for the week on the Gauntlet account only. Total net profit $1,006.75. Gross profit $1,330. Gross loss $323. This doesn't include commissions. So technically, with the commissions, I'm below 1,000, but I'm not real worried about that. 20 trades, 13 wins, 65% win rate, which is awesome. 6 losing trades, 1 break even. My average winning trade has been $102. My average losing trade, $53. So, and that's awesome right there as well. I mean, that's a 2-to-1 win the loss rate. Win the loss amounts, or 1.9. It actually tells me that. So this has been an excellent week. Probably my most consistent, best week. No one day was huge. My biggest day was 298. My lowest day was 108. Everything's been in there. I've had days where I've hit $700 and the next day gave 500 back. So I actually consider this week better than a day where I hit 700. Yeah, I wish I hadn't had to leave the computer when that uh, big down move started on the indices. Now, I admit, I mean, we're at 10:34. I usually stream to about 11. I can't see me taking any other trades only because I won $1,000 week and I don't want to mess that up, which is really stupid. But it's just a psychological thing. You must have stayed short, Jay. Were you short? And did you just come back now, Jay? Did you see my win on Crude? I always say one of the best trades I ever took. Okay, hold on a minute, Jay. I 19 ticks on crude oil, $190 profit, which officially puts me over $1,000 this week. So I'm proud of that. But one of the best trades I ever took, I wasn't awake for. I was on Top Step. I accidentally left the trade open when I went to bed. Well, I didn't leave a trade open, but I left an order sitting that got filled while I was sleeping, and I woke up to $750 in profit. That could have been disastrous, obviously, but yeah, that one worked while I was asleep. One of the best trades I ever did was while I was asleep. So now I probably don't want to take any more trades today, just so I can make sure I stay above 1,000, which is just a psychological thing. Obviously, the week's no better or worse if I do 1,100 or if I do 900, but I like this feeling of $1,000 in a week. Yeah, I mean technically it's $1,006, but still, I mean I could enter in a NQ trade with a 2 point MNQ trade with a 2 point stop loss, so the most I could lose is $4. But and Jay, like I said, if you look at the crude chart, I didn't actually totally follow the signal. This is the signal here, but I didn't get in. I waited for this pullback. It started pulling back. And then once it burst through this top is where I got in. I actually got in the top of this candle and rode it up. So I do what I tell people to do is wait for that pullback. And then once it breaks back above, I got in. So it was a very nice trade all around. One I'm actually kind of proud of, and I'm not proud of myself often. Big drop down here on copper. Little OCD there, Jay. So if I could do $1,000 every week, averaging $200 a day, I would get funded on New Year's Eve. I'm not sure the market. I assume the market's open New Year's Eve. I gotta look at that. I would get funded somewhere in this last week of. That would be a great way to bring the ring in the new year. See, ANQ's kind of trying to grind back down. Slow of the day we was here at 728. It's back down to 741. ES is doing the same thing. Copper is kind of doing the same thing. Tried to come up, failed. Gold, just sideways. Bonds heading upwards. Crude, big rejection back down after that nice win. So it gave me the win and then decided to come back down. Natural gas coming down as well. Russell making new daily lows. Yeah, actually, NASDAQ just made a new daily low as well. So we're still bearish. Very, very bearish. Down to 15,700. Hmm. Daily chart here. You can, stupid mail. You see here on the daily chart, this is where we're here. It's given up all of its gains since the end of October. But this is interesting. Look where we're at right now. If we go all the way back to August, see how it struggled to get above right at the level we're at now. Exactly this level, right around 15,700. It tried for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, 8 days, from the end of August to the beginning of September before it pulled back hard. Then when it came back up through, you can see it rejected off that level twice before breaking through on October 28th. And it tried to come back down to that level on this wick and then got above it for good on the 29th. So for some reason, this 15,700 level is actually very important for whatever reason. It's struggled there twice. Well, I mean, two periods, one for almost a full week, and then a couple of days. So that's where it's pulled back to. So this should actually, if it breaks this support, it could really tumble because this obviously was the most important level. Next important level might be right around here. That's all the way down at 515. You see there, it came down, hung around there for a bit, and then came down. It hung around there for a bit going back up, and then finally broke it. So that's our next major support area if it breaks through this one. I have a lot of lines on that chart. Oh, let's go to the daily chart. Okay, let's go back to our 1 minute. Copper bouncing back up. Crude. So, if I would, I sometimes get tunnel vision after I win and don't react to the next signals that pop. I celebrate the win. I point out the stats of the win, and then I don't pay attention. If you look at this drop, this is Crude. Right after we came up here, we dropped down, pulled back, dropped down. We finally got the short signal. It pulled back by it's like 12 ticks, but then went. I would be running a 20 tick stop here, looking for 30 ticks. Actually, I should be looking for 30 ticks there, but 20 worked anyway. So either 20 or 30, and you can see I could have got another good win. Either somewhere between 15 and 30 ticks coming back down, and it's really coming down. So that's another thing I need to get better at. Part of it's the fact that I'm on stream. I quickly show the stats so y'all can see. But reacting to more plays would be also good. Eventually, I mean, you can. Well, like today, I'm up $190 in one trade. Now, if I was going, if I had gone in with 3 contracts, that would be nearly $600. So you can do, you can do every day one good trade and definitely thrive on that. I like, if I want to do more trades. That's one of the reasons I watch multiple assets. You know, I would love to do at least 10 trades a day, but you can't force it. If there's not 10 trades to take, but I've missed a lot of opportunities today. There's definitely, for the amount of time I sit here, there's going to be at least 10 opportunities most days. Now there's going to be days that are probably going to be slow. I don't know what, like, once we get closer to the holidays and things slow down, things like that. But, I like to trade, but that doesn't mean you need to take trades all the time. Especially since, I do get, I get the alerts, so I can just jump on an alert. I don't have to necessarily stare at the chart all the time either. But I just feel there's more opportunities here, and I feel once I continue to get more comfortable, you're going to continue seeing that P&L go up. But as you're learning, and as you're in an evaluation, you shouldn't be pressing more than one contract. And you probably should be sticking the micros if you're trading something that has a viable micro. The indices, gold. So I never traded silver's micro, and I should probably check that out. Silver has a decent micro, I think, and it's not sure about liquidity on it. And crude oil. Those are the decent micros.
There are other micros that aren't as good. They've launched some micros on the couple of the treasuries, but they're barely getting any volume. So we are at 10:47 Eastern. Probably gonna look at wrapping up here in the next couple minutes. You can see here, this would have worked. This would have worked. Well, no. ES pulled back 10 points here, so this probably would have stopped me out, honestly. Russell would have worked. This Nasdaq and that pulled back by 70 points, so no, that one wouldn't have worked. Gold recently sent this short signal. It's gone down 3 ticks so far. Gold's been the fickle one today. You can see that it's been kind of just sideways. It grinded up harsh. Okay, we see we're still trending down here. Copper come down. No real, I mean, nothing really happening now. Looks like we might be bearish the rest of the day on the indices. Bonds are, I noticed that bonds usually head up as the indices are heading down. Gold's kind of sideways. Crude, big move down after that. So it was like, it gave me that nice win and then decided, I'm going to go the other way. So crude oil's my buddy today. Still have a lot of volume. You see all these volume bars are about equal, so not, even though we're seeing slower momentum, we still have volume in the market. Gold's giving us a buy signal, but you see that last short signal would have been a dud. This gold signal here would have been good, but this one wouldn't have been, that one wouldn't have been, that one wouldn't have been. It's unusual for gold to give us that many duds, but just kind of a weird day. Russell's giving us a buy signal. We see both the indices trying to push up here a bit. But honestly, I think I'm going to call it a day here. See this big move down here on crude. Crude, after it gave us that nice win, crude has fallen. Wow, crude has fallen 120, 130 ticks. That's a $1,300 move downward. So, kind of amazing. That's just sometimes you got to be a little bit lucky. I mean, obviously, I took the signal, but I waited for that pullback. But even if I hadn't waited for that pullback, if I had been running my 16 tick stop, I think I would have been able to survive that anyway. Let me look. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. So, I would have got my profit target even if I hadn't, if I gotten it off that signal. But I'm happy that I waited for the confirmation. This signal would have been good. This signal would be good. And that signal would be good. So following crude signals today all would have been good since back here. This is the only one that would have failed. And that was right at the crude pits open. I'm not sure they actually have a pit anymore, but there's always volatility right around 9 o'clock. But, we got in lucky off this signal, got what we wanted out of it before it flushed down majorly. Natural gas sending out a buy signal. Has a lot of resistance coming up though. You can see here it's come up here around this area. So we want to see it break that. It's been trending down. I mean, it's a good looking signal above the SMA going up, but we're going to call it a day here. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I do thank you for joining me this morning. Thank you for joining me this week for my $1,000 week. We're going to keep building on that. We're going to keep building on our success, keep building on this channel, keep building on these streams, and work toward getting funded, and then work toward a wonderful and prosperous 2022. Again, have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you back here Monday evening or Tuesday morning. That will be the next live streams. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Bye.